All right, I'm going to spend most of the time just playing the video here, but this is before, first of all, so drawing down from your centre of mass there, you can see just how far in front the foot is. So there's a big overstride, you can see the gap in the heels, in the knees, and then if I draw a line down here from your centre of mass, you can see that this gap and this gap are completely different. You've also got rid of the vast majority of the gapping at the knee, which is really evident in the before video, which is fantastic, right? So we're really happy with that. And yeah, just to be clear, this is the after video, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I am going to play the video and you're just going to have a look at it. And let's talk about the things that you're looking for quickly. Is we're going to see in a much more dynamic arm action. You're going to see a faster cadence. We had to speed the treadmill up. So I think you're at 13 kilometers on the left, you're at 14 kilometers on the right. But you are generating so much more speed and horizontal force with your improved running action that you would have gone off the treadmill. So we had to speed it up. So yeah, you're going to see a much faster ground contact time. You're going to see a much more dynamic arm action, and you're going to see a much higher heel recovery towards your butt in this position here. And you are also going to see a much higher foot position in this sort of area before you strike the ground, allowing you to strike down, get the foot underneath the centre of mass and generate more force to propel you forward. So I'm going to take all of these lines off and then we will play it. Let's have a look. You might have to listen to me with a few cues here. Apologies.
Good, and just keep running. Nice and tall. Keep the arms going. Nice and quick with the arms. Chin down a little bit.
So I think you were quite surprised when you saw it, and you said just how lethargic and lumbering this before footage looked in comparison to the athletic nature of this one. So let's have a look again, and let's just enjoy what we're seeing.
That's better. Good, and just keep running. Nice and tall. Keep the arms going. Nice and quick with the arms.
Okay, so that's a brilliant amount of change in what was quite a long individual session, but you imagine what we would get if we were spending 6 weeks doing this. If you just have a look here, I'm just moving the before footage. Have a look at what's happening with the foot, and it's reaching out in front of that leading knee, but there is virtually no ground clearance at all, so it's a really low shuffling action. Whereas look at this with the high heel recovery that we get, and as it comes through here, it's going to strike. It's in a much more aggressive position. So now we can generate much more force, engaging the glutes and hamstrings, going into hip extension to really drive you forward after we've done a little bit of work, which is just superb. I'm going to knock this forward just onto left point of first left foot strike here. See, it's nice and low again. So we struck the ground there. And what I just want to have a look at is the amount of time you're spending on the ground. So that is where you strike the ground here, okay? Let's knock each of these through and then mark where your foot leaves the ground. So one of the things that we see with an inefficient runner is that they spend much, much longer. So that's the last point of foot contact there. So in this second one, let's have a look what happens. So we should spend a much shorter period of time on the ground, which is there. Okay, and I think if we measured these two, you're going to see a much bigger gap here to to this one. And let me just change the colour of those lines. It might be slightly more evident for you. Is this distance is the period where you're in contact with the ground here. This is a much smaller distance. And so it's a faster ground contact, you've got faster cadence, you've got much more front side mechanics. Let me change the colour on that one again just to make it more obvious against the background. You've got this lovely front side mechanics with the knee leading the action here. We don't have the same amount of knee drive here. We've got a much lower foot position, which limits the amount of force you can generate into the floor. We've got this lovely upper body position here again. And so you have made really, really positive changes in a short amount of time. Really, really well done. Let's play it one last time. Probably here's a big shout out to Nick McCashin of the Ultra Dads community. Absolutely smashing his running, and this is going to come in useful for whichever crazy ultras he decides to do in the future.
Chin down a little bit. That's better. Good. And just keep running. Nice and tall. Keep the arms going.
Outstanding.